So problem number 33. Okay, so what percentage of the people surveyed were Republicans? Oh, we have answers. Okay, go, Valeria. What do we have?
28%.
And how did you calculate that?
I did 1101 divided by 4,002.
So you looked at the total number of people that were Republicans, and you divided it by the total number of people, and you got a percentage. Everybody follow that? Does that make sense? Okay. Then the second part says, well, the second part I'm not that concerned. Do you think this might be a reasonable estimate of the percentage of all voters for Republicans? Don't worry about that one. What percentage of the people surveyed were under 30 or over 65? So anybody want to take a stab at that one? I'm not going to let you do it twice. All right, Sarah, what did you say? Under 30 or over 6 and over 65. What did you do?
So should we be getting separate percentages, or should we be adding the percentages together?
Well, I think they should be added together. But if you gave them to me as separate, if this kind of a question was on the test, if you gave them to me separate, I would not count it against you. Okay.
So there's 1,001 that are under 30, and then 1,004 that are over 65. So when you add those together, you get 2,005, and then divide it by the total number of people in general.
So that one there plus that one there divided by that one there.
Yeah.
And what did you get?
50%.
About 50%? Does that sound right? Okay, so we're good with that? Okay. So let's do those two. Okay. What percentage of people were independents under the age of 30? Another volunteer? Okay, Julie.
10%, because I took 409.
So if you took 409, these are independents under 30.
And then divided by the total people surveyed. Oh wait, what percentage of independents? My God. So it's 409 divided by 1497.
That's right.
So it's 27%, sorry.
That's right. So you got to read the question carefully on these, right? Everybody see that? Any questions on that? Yes?
Wait, how can we divide it by the independent and not the total number?
Well, let's read the question carefully. It says, what percent of people were independents under the age of 30? That's actually a slightly ambiguous wording, huh?
Well, if you look at the next one. E, it says what percent of independents were under 30?
Yeah, I think
so
that
that one once you divide by only the independents, and for the other one once you divide by the total.
You know, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think on D it says what percentage of people were independents under the age of 30. I think it's slightly ambiguously worded, but you're right. The next one says what percent of independents were under 30. So that one, the number of independents under 30 would definitely be the 409 divided by the 1497. But the other one might be also interpreted as the 409 divided by the 4002. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. I mean, mainly I just want to make sure you're reading the question and kind of looking at the right spots to do your division and calculate your percentages. That's okay. Okay, so then the next one is, let's go. Let me see how I get rid of these red marks. There we go. Okay, the last one is what percent of people under 30 were independents? Yeah, Carolyn.
So you would take 409 and put it over the total of people under 30, which is 1,001.
Right, so I take my 409 and I divide it by 1,001, and I'm going to get my percent that way. Does that make sense, everybody? You good with that? Okay, so then compounding on this, let's go over to problem 35, because we're looking at the same data. Right. What is the marginal distribution of party affiliation? Anybody want to take a stab at that? Remember marginal distribution? Okay, so this is a table. Okay, Nydia, go ahead.
Is it like all the bowls?
So give me some numbers since my graph here doesn't have any bold on it.
Or like 1001, 999, 998. Like all the numbers like on the right.
Right here?
And the one on the bottom.
And the one about those are the margins. That is correct, because we have a table here, and this is where our data is, and this is a margin, and this is a margin. So those are our marginal distributions, but they're asking very specifically, they're saying, what is the marginal distribution of party affiliation? So which ones are you going to look at? Which margins are you going to look at?
The one under Republican, Democrat, and Independent.
That's right. That would be the marginal distribution of party affiliation. Does it make sense? Right? That's what they're asking me. What and for a marginal distribution like that, your answer could either be, well, the marginal distribution of party affiliation is 1101 for Republicans, 1404 for Democrats, and 1497 for Independents. Or you could calculate the percentage for each of those and give the percentage for each of those. But on a marginal distribution, you can give either percentage or the actual numbers. I actually think percentage is a little bit more meaningful and a little bit easier to understand. So if you want to not have to remember which one to give, just calculate the percentage. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Yes?
So you calculate the percentage, so like 1101 over 4 that one?
Yes. Yes. Interestingly enough, 1101 plus 1404 plus 1497, we know that's equal to 4002. As is, 1001, 999, 998, and 1004. They all add up. This corner box here is adding up both the bottom and the other one. They're equal to the same thing because they're all the total survey participants. Okay, so everybody understand that, the marginal distribution there? Okay, then it says, well, create bar graphs displaying the conditional distribution of party affiliation for each group. Okay? So, the key thing to remember when you read a question like that, I think, is the word for, right? So we want to have the, let me read it again. It says, the conditional distribution of party affiliation for each group. So what I want to have on the bottom is my groups. And my groups are 18 to 29. That's too big. Right. Let's, for purposes of this, let's simplify it a little bit more, and let's call this group A, and this group B, and that group C, and that group D. So I want to have going across the bottom my A, B, C, and D. And then I would want to see what's the conditional distribution of party affiliation for each group. Well, I would calculate, I'm not going to do it right now, but I would calculate, well, of my 18 to 29-year-olds, well, how many are, what percentage are Republican, what percentage are Democrat, what percentage are Independents? So what do we have? What the heck? Let's live dangerously here. Okay? So here, go ahead. If anybody count, can anybody do the percentages there? So for the 18 to 29s, what percentage are Republican?
24.
24% are Republican? Okay, so we're going to make, wait, Republicans are red or blue?
Red.
Republicans are red. I can never remember. I always think of red as being communists. Right, so why are the Republicans red? That never makes any sense to me. All right, so there's my Republicans for the 18 to 20-year-olds, and then what percentage are the Democrats?
35.
Well, yeah, I think this is pretty easy, right? I have 1,000 of them, right? So it's pretty clear. So if I take 24 plus 35, that's going to be what? That's going to take me up to about 59, right? So that one's going to look to be like right about there. The blues, right? And we'll make the Independents green. I mean, I know that they're going to take me all the way up to the top because it has to be 100% on a bar chart like this. Right? I mean, if I'm distributing the Republican, Democrat, and Independents, and I want to know what percentage each of them are, and that's all of them that I have, the total is going to be 100%. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Questions on that? Yes.
Do we have to label A 18 to 29?
Well, you know, if you somewhere you have to label it. Yes. Yeah. I'd have to know that you know which group you're talking about here. Yeah. It's just not enough space for me in my childish handwriting to get 18 to 29 in there. It would look stranger than it looks. Right. So in my 30 to 49 group, I can see that my my Republicans are going to be about 30%.
How do you know that?
Well, because I have
I mean,
299
I know,
divided by
I know.
1,000. You know, all these groups are about 1,000, so that they're nicely distributed to make your percentage calculations pretty simple. And if you're doing this kind of a question on the test, you know, I'm not looking for pinpoint accuracy. You know, I want you to get the test done. You know, I don't want you to sit there with a ruler and measure it out. Just as long as I know what you're talking about.
33% is the next one.
33, right? Okay, so that's our blue state. So what would that together? That's 30 plus 33 is going to take me up to about 63. So I'd say that's probably about here. And then I know that my independents are going to be the rest. Okay. And then my next group is the 50 to 64, so that's going to be about 28%, the first bar. And then my second bar is adding 34, so that's going to take me up to about, what, 62? Yeah, up to about 62. And then I know my independents are just going to finish off the deal here. And then the last one is going to be about 28. So really pretty close to the one right before it. And then another 38%, that's going to get me up to about 65, sorry. So about the same. And then my independents are going to finish it off. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody, how we did that? Right. The key thing is to know that the word for is the key word to help you figure out what it is they want, which one's supposed to be on the bottom as opposed to on the side. And I would have to label this age groups. And probably be a good idea to put a percent here so that we know what that is. And then you'd have a key that would say, how does it go? Hammer and sickle, so those are the communists. These are the Dems. And these are the independents. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. Okay, so we created a segmented bar graph showing the conditional distribution of party affiliation for each group. Summarize these poll results in a few sentences that might appear in a newspaper article. So how would you summarize that? What would you say? It's kind of similar to the next one, D. And there are questions on the final that are asking you to summarize things in a couple of sentences. So what would you say about this? Is there anything that kind of strikes you about it? Now, Jackie?
With age, people are becoming more Republican.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true. At least, or at least in this particular snapshot of ages, you know, I don't know that we can necessarily say that as people age they become more Republican, but you can definitely say that older people that were surveyed seem to be more Republican than younger people. Younger people seem to be more independent, right? Those are a couple things you could say about that. Do you think party affiliation is independent of a person's age? So they're asking, does a person's age seem to have some relationship to their party affiliation? I think so. I think so. And what Jackie said in the beginning, right? The older people seem to be more affiliated with Republican. Younger people seem to be more affiliated with independent. So with independent. So they do seem to be not independent of age. Age seems to have something to do with it. You're not saying it's causal, but you're saying that there is some kind of relationship. Okay? So does this bring this back to memory a little bit? Yeah. Okay. Because there are problems on the test that deal with marginal and conditional distribution like this. So I wanted to make sure that we covered that one. All right. So where's my mouse? There we go.